Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Today, we'd like to talk to you about an unmet need that basically is actually not very well known. Patients suffering from chronic diseases actually have a terrible time staying on the therapy and also adhering to treatment as well. Those data here are from a McKinsey report, and as you can see, the numbers are really less than stellar. Basically, in the best of case, about half patients do the right thing, and after 1 year, on average, pharma companies actually lose 2/3 of their patients. It's quite insane, and we ask ourselves, well, why is that? We believe that one of the reasons is linked to the delivery technique. Most of those drugs used for chronic use are actually biologics, so injectable medicines, medicines for which you need either a needle and syringe or an auto-injector. And as you can imagine, this creates a lot of anxiety. Disposing of needle is actually very difficult. In fact, you have to go, in my town, in Brookline, you have to go to the police station to return the needles. And of course, we're humans, we forget things, and oftentimes we just get confused as well. There's another reason, actually, why this is starting to become an issue. As we've seen the success of all the weight loss drugs, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Ozempic, those typically use an auto-injector. So it's a needle and syringe with a spring doing the activation. It's pretty much like an EpiPen, as you can see in that picture. Those have a huge burden for the environment when they need to get disposed of. And in fact, here, as you can see, the New York Times actually reported on that a couple of weeks ago. So we're coming in with a breakthrough in drug delivery. It's not only reusable, it's 21st century, so it's connected, and it's also needle-free. And just to give you a sense of a broader device here, you get to see what the size is, and then there is a disposable single-use component that's actually this big. Just looks like a syringe, but if you open it up, there's actually no needle. So to cut to the chase, why are we here? We're here because we first of all at an inflection point. We're raising $35 million. The company is actually at a great stage. We've actually spent a lot of time de-risking the technology. We have a few partnerships actually in place with pharma, and we have an extraordinary team that's focused on execution and will get us there. So let's dive a little bit deeper, tell you about the solution that we have. So our core belief is that in this 21st century, not only do you need to focus on the delivery experience, but also on the digital side of things actually as well. And that combination, we believe, will help actually keep patients longer on the drug, make sure that they reach the outcomes they desire, and also reduce cost down the road. So how does the technology work? So it's actually an older concept in which that you use a very fine jet of drug, and that jet actually is fast enough and thin enough, in fact thinner than a needle, that it will pierce actually gently the skin. And the innovation that we have, which comes from MIT, is that we're able to control that jet during that very split-second injection duration. We also have the ability to basically not only control the jet in time, but also in space actually as well. As you can see from the graph here, it's a very, very thin jet, much, much smaller than a needle and syringe. A crude way to look at injections, this is just for illustration purposes. This is a slab of porcine tissue. If those circles were labeled, it would be very difficult to know which one is which. So we're able to mimic any injection, be it a subcutaneous injection, an intradermal injection, or an intramuscular injection as well. We also believe that connectivity is very important. With connectivity, we're able not only to capture when an injection has happened, we're also able to actually get the entire care team on the same page. In addition, we believe that the pharma companies with whom we partner may be very interested to know not only how the drugs are getting used, but also when those drugs are getting used actually as well. The company has an extensive patent portfolio, and in fact, we keep on inventing, and IP is a core thing for us. How do we differentiate against competitors? There are two axes that we like to actually use to do that. The first one is, can those devices administer biologics, yes or no, and are they reusable? Again, the reusability is important because you don't want to find very complex devices, very expensive devices in a waste stream and so on. So on the bottom right corner, you see the traditional auto-injectors. Those are our main competitors. For the Ozempic, all those weight loss drugs, these are typically the drugs, the devices that are used for those drugs. There is actually a needle-free device that exists, as you can see on the top left corner, the PharmaJet device, but unfortunately, because of volume restriction, it's not able to inject more than 0.5 milliliter. For biologics, you actually need much more than that. There is a product that we like a lot. It's the Amgen AutoTouch. It's a reusable auto-injector, but it's needle-based actually as well. So we're extremely differentiated in this market, and we believe that in a few years' time, the standard of care for any administration of biologics will be with our device. Patients love our device. When you get injected, we've done about 3 clinical studies. Typically, the sensation that you feel is about half the sensation of a needle and syringe. In addition, when we ask patients, well, would you actually prefer to take a biologics with this technology, about 80% say, yes, no, not only do I prefer it, but also I believe that this could help me do the right thing, stay longer on the drug as well. Our target market is the very large biologics market. It's about $500 billion market, if you can believe that. And we're targeting basically all the major players there, from Regeneron to smaller biotech companies that are still in development. How do we structure deals? Typically, this is a licensing model. We like to call it the traditional biotech license, where basically you set up typically an exclusive deal with upfront payments, and then you set up a development program with milestone payments, R&D dollars, and then you get, once it's all said and done, and you're on the market, you get also access to royalty as well. So why do we believe we have a core value prop for pharma companies as well? It's basically a market expansion strategy. If you can keep patients longer on the drug, and you can actually increase the market actually as well, in that you get not only the needle-phobic folks, but also perhaps patients who have difficulty using current devices, you can imagine that the market basically would grow. And so from a visual standpoint, this would look something like this. So we can take any biologics franchise and then piecemeal sort of increase it through basically through greater adherence, greater persistence, and also by market expansion as well. Our partnering strategy is quite advanced. In fact, this is actually an older slide here that I see. We have 5 partners in feasibility actually right now, from major pharmaceutical companies down to biologics company. We're ready with GMP manufacturing. We have both the production of the device. This device here is made actually in-house in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And then the disposable, the container, is made by a very reputable primary container manufacturer, Gerresheimer. I like to call them the Becton Dickinson of Europe. They've been our partner for actually quite some time. On the device side, we have also plans to expand and to use companies like Flex and so on once we go beyond large volume. Currently, we can make about 1,000 devices per year. Once we go to the 10,000, 100,000, a different company would be needed. We've got a great team, and as mentioned, we're raising $35 million. What will we do with it? A third of it will be for clinical studies, a third of it will be, of course, for operation, and a third of that will be to basically set up manufacturing and expand, as I just described. Finally, I will just leave you with this. We think it's an exciting area to invest in. 2 key deals actually have been done recently. Enable Medicines raised about $200 million at a very attractive valuation a couple of years ago. Halozyme is kind of the more interesting and sort of a big company in this space as well. And more recently, Lindra also raised $100 million in the drug delivery space. So again, a great unmet need, de-risk platform, and a great team to execute. And thank you very much for your attention.